Welcome back. Paul, Catalina, and Garrett Ross here on the Triple Option. And who is this week's team that is going? Like, I'm going to throw out several.
Okay.
But Kyle Visser said, I hope it's Penn State.
Oh,
Let's
me
just
too,
get that
dude.
one out of the,
I do too.
That one kind of fits that mold, right? So, while it's not in Ireland, you're not going to be in friendly territory. If there's a place that, I mean, obviously not size-wise, but enthusiasm-wise.
Oh, they match it.
Can match that enthusiasm at any time of day. Like, it doesn't need to be not like, say what you will about Death Valley, Garrett. Like, the enthusiasm for a noon kick and the enthusiasm for a night kick are different.
It's totally
things.
different.
But Penn State and West Virginia are kind of like noon, 7 o'clock, 3:30. Don't care. Like 4 a.m. We're here for this. We're here for this. LSU, I think partly it's just Cajun food takes a while to cook.
Well, yeah, that they need to get liquored up and everything. Yeah.
So they've got a whole process.
Yeah.
Like they, starting at 10 a.m., and then on through kickoff. I mean, you ever walk through that tailgate area? And
I never have.
Oh my gosh.
I need to.
Okay. They'll like you.
Oh,
I mean,
hope so.
But the thing is that like some of the people are like insanely nice, but then like it gets a little scary.
Well, see, my only experience, like full disclosure, my only time ever seeing LSU play was the Texas Bowl, which was a complete disaster when K-State just obliterated them.
Yeah.
And the fans, I went with a group of, my real dad has some friends from Louisiana, and we went with them, and then I got to meet some other people that were at the game, and it was pretty cool. Everybody enjoyed it, but I need to get down there to actually fully immerse myself in it.
Oh no, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. You definitely need to get to one. Look, you haven't been to LSU. Smokey hasn't been to Nebraska. We're gonna fix all.
We got to fix that.
Listen, my goal is to fix all this.
Like I've been there, but just not to a game.
Yeah. I mean, Emory and Jack are Baylor alums, so they've gotten to like.
Well, Jack, he's lived my dream over there.
Yeah. Well, maybe not now.
No, but he did. He got to go down
here's
there.
Here's the thing: that November 9th, that's also the day that Baylor plays Arkansas in Dallas.
I know.
I mean, they're like,
there's a lot going on that day.
Yeah. Or I may go nowhere, and I may sit in here and put different things on every television.
You know what? I know I'm about to derail us, but I felt so weird watching the games on Saturday because I watched every one of them with you last year. So I'm just sitting by myself like, what the hell is this?
And that's like this year, our pregame show is 9 to 10:30 every week, which we love. We love. It's the same, but there's going to be some days where we have to do that.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm down for that. But it did feel weird. I was like, man, this does not feel the same.
Yeah, absolutely. So but I do wonder, okay, who is this week's? And I think if you look at the things, measurables, Virginia Tech, a team on the rise.
Yep.
Against a legacy team, right? This is now a non-conference game, but this game can mean so much to the long-term future of West Virginia that, man, and that's why I picked them. I'm absolutely all for it.
I'm taking West Virginia too.
I picked them.
See. Well, I know like they'll have pushback because the game was close, and then Penn State blew it open last year. Penn State also, to me, had the more experienced team at the time. They had the home field advantage, and I just think that I don't know how much more Drew Aller could truly progress. I kind of feel like we know who he is, whereas Garrett Green still had room to improve through this passing game, and you have the weapons around him. They're so old, too. I just feel like this is one where – and Neil Brown's come out with a disrespect. The West Virginia fans are feeling it. You have arguably one of your most famous alums coming back with McAfee doing his show there. You have Big Noon. There's so much there, and it's the opportunity for the Big 12 to get that signature win over the Big 10. Like, there's a lot on the line for West Virginia, and I just don't see them letting this slip through their hands. I just don't see it.
Yeah, no, I think it's huge. I think it's absolutely huge. And these are the games also that had gotten James Franklin in his career.
Yes,
but yeah, this is the game I'm looking forward to the most this week.
Oh yeah,
and even more than Clemson and Georgia, which I'll be flipping back and forth.
I'll tell you, I'm looking forward to it more than LSU USC. Straight, I am.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you who else needs to be a little bit wary of who they're playing is, hold on, I had it here.
Colorado,
for sure.
Oklahoma State,
Colorado, Oklahoma State. I'm not going to pick the other teams to win, but they got to be on the lookout. But, golly, I lost them. I totally lost them.
So you have right here. You got
I can't believe I went past it. Virginia Tech. And here's what they're playing at Vanderbilt. I know that there's nothing but disrespect for Vanderbilt. But Vanderbilt went and got Diego Pavia at quarterback, who led New Mexico to a huge season last year. Now he's gone and they're a wreck. Was Diego Pavia, was he the one who peed on the...
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So again, this guy's not afraid. He's fearless. And they haven't had a guy like this. And when you have a quarterback who plays like Diego Pavia, I have a feeling this one might be a little bit closer than Virginia Tech wants. So I would say that Virginia Tech needs to be on the lookout because they feel like they're in the same spot as Georgia Tech, where they've got a quarterback they love and they're going up here. They're on the rise. But Vanderbilt and Clark Lee is a good, he's
a good
also
coach.
He's in the same Neil Brown chip on your shoulder mode. And so I do think that early on, not that their stadium in Nashville is this overwhelming home field advantage.
They're not doing renovation. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So but I do think that road game starting out, a team that nobody really knows anything about, that all of a sudden has a quarterback that,
Well, we saw that with Nevada. Nevada was able to push the way they were because you had a better quarterback coming in, and you had Savion Red at your running back position. So you're right. I mean, if you get the right quarterback in there, especially somebody that can be elusive, and they're probably going to have to be at Vanderbilt because that's the one SEC school who pound for pound can't match in the trenches like all the others do. They're going to have guys up there, but they're not going to have the depth. He can run around and make some plays, but I just feel like Virginia Tech as a whole they're going to make that next step and build off of what they've done the past couple of years. And I really, really like Kyron Drones in that system. So it could be closer than expected, but that's one where I think the Hokies should probably win by about 10 points at least.
Now we can play this trap, we might play the trap game every week.
Oh, that'd be fun.
And as it goes in, through the season, we'll do that. I mean, Miami and Florida, Miami is probably going to this thing. Their fans are thinking well, this is the best time we've ever had to play Florida. We're the first game of their really hard schedule, but classically Miami doesn't win in the Swamp. Most people don't.
No,
it's a tough place to play.
Even
Even when Florida sucks out loud like they did last year, it was tough to win.
Oh, it's hard to go in there. Yeah.
It's hard to win there. And they might suck out loud again and have to get a new coach. But
I wouldn't want to go in there if I'm Miami because the first game, because it's not only is it a rivalry.
I'd rather have my little flipper. Here's the other thing. Miami plays USF this year. Florida plays UCF.
Both of them
those are
better be
huge
careful.
Games for both those other teams.
I think UCF beats Florida straight up.
The trap games those weeks. USF's good.
They are.
USF has a good quarterback, and
I just if you're Miami and you're going into the Swamp, and I know Cam Ward is a great quarterback. He has never played in an atmosphere like that.
Nope.
I know he's played on some decent sized stages with Incarnate Word winning the championships and everything, but it's totally different, dude.
At Wazoo, I would compare it Oregon.
Oregon, maybe.
Oregon, maybe the Coliseum when it's totally lit.
But that was.
But even still. No, and
I
then
think
it's different.
Yeah, Oregon would be the only close one.
It's different. Here's the other thing: is that even the ACC has better atmospheres than the Pac-12 does classically. Now Utah's great. Rice Eccles is great.
Oh hell yeah.
Boulder can be, but I mean, forever it wasn't. Arizona's new to this. Arizona State's new to it. As far as they've had good atmospheres in the past, but currently Arizona's probably back up. Arizona State's probably not all that.
They're finding themselves
right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, you think about the places he's played. Washington, that's a tough place, but that's probably the one.
I'll say they're in Oregon.
Yeah. Washington, Oregon's a place he's played that would be like that, but this is different.
Well, it is, and also you got to think Florida. Napier has so much pressure. Like, do you really want to go in there with him having so much on the line and like those players fighting for his job on the first? I don't know, man.
I mean, it's going to be tougher than I think a lot of people realize. Here's another thing I'll point out. Miami, part of the reason Miami has lost its identity over the last 20 years is they don't really have a home field advantage where they play. It is not their stadium. They're playing in the Dolphins Stadium. And the Orange Bowl, even though Miami sports fans are as fickle as anybody. Miami, LA, same.
Yep.
Like Chicago looks at them like, listen, no, we spit on you and your disrespect for your own teams. Cubs fans will go to a game for any reason. Marlins fans are like, I heard that Mark Anthony's going to be there tonight.
I might show up for that.
Is Fat Joe here? Like those kind of things. But they don't have that home field advantage.
No.
And so everywhere they go is potentially a tougher place to play than the place that they already play.
That's a good point.
And so because they don't, they don't have this great home field advantage like most do. So I think that's going to be an interesting story to follow as Miami goes through the year. Can this Miami team, which is super talented, bring back a home field advantage to a place that they've never had a home field, bring a home field advantage to a place they've never had one? Now, they've won, not that they haven't won games there, but you would not compare Hard Rock Stadium to any of the venues in college when it comes to intimidating atmospheres. Hard Rock Stadium is not even tough for the Dolphins.
No, not at all.
All right, so, and that's their stadium. So outside of, there's no, no atmosphere.
But does Miami, is Miami one of those places where just winning is going to get people to come in, or does it have to be a show?
It's got to be a show.
Like, you need Cam Ward to go out there and have a Heisman campaign.
That's why he was important.
Martinez to.
That's why it was important to get stars in.
Yeah, because they haven't. That's what they've been missing.
Because when you think about the great Miami teams, it is stars.
Yeah.
Any sport in Miami. The Heat were popular, right? Mm-hmm. Then all of a sudden, LeBron James and Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh are all together, and then it's the hottest game in town. The two times the Marlins have won the World Series, they've been loaded with some of the best players in baseball, and then they sold them off, so they could get their World Series. Traded them all off and rebuilt. The Dolphins, their peak time was the Marino years. Yep. They haven't got back to it since then because they haven't had anybody on that level since him. Tua's good. He ain't Marino good.
No, he's not.
And maybe one day he is. Maybe he wins Super Bowls, which they haven't done since before Marino. But yeah, I mean that's how it looked. The Panthers this year, that was a huge deal, right?
Yeah,
huge deal. The Panthers had a great season, but most years, if you and I were in Miami and we saw, hey, Panthers and Predators are playing tonight. You want to go? Yeah, we could sit 20 rows up from the ice. For reasonable,
Yeah, and they had. Kachuk was a star, so you have a star.
Yeah, they've got Kachuk again. Changes everything, right? Changes everything. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how it goes there. So, outside of this, before we talk about our last topic, which is not sports related at all, I'm curious on your perspective on it.
Okay.
Which is we'll talk about it in a second. I do want to say the two best games I can't wait to watch this week, outside of the ones I said, are Clemson and Georgia. I'm very curious to see that, and Notre Dame and A&M.
That's the.
It could be a statement game for both teams. At Kyle Field too, that's. Mike Elko. Mike Elko opens up against his old quarterback.
Yeah, that's the thing. Elko being the defensive genius, knowing every quirk and flaw in Riley Leonard's game. I know the Irish have addressed their playmaking abilities on the outside, but to what extent? And if you have a guy go down, do you have the depth at your playmaker position to counter that? I don't think they do. Nick Scorton coming in for A&M on the defensive line, like that's big. That's going to be a thing. It's like, is Riley Leonard going to be running for his life all night long? Because I don't know, with Notre Dame already losing their best offensive lineman for the year, I don't think they can hold up 4 quarters against that defensive, really the front 7 of A&M, if you get Torian York blitzing as well. So but if you're looking at quarterbacks, I would take Leonard over Wegman. But I think the A&M does get this done, but it's going to be a hell of a game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's gonna be great. I can't wait to watch it. Can't wait to watch it. I need to get my wife as enthusiastic about. She loves sports. She loves sports, but she's also not the person who can like lock in and like watch 11 games like I can.
Oh no. Look, I'm 18 years into this. It's probably never going to happen.
No, but she likes sports. She loves sports. She's a sports family. Now, the Olympics, she can do that. I think because of the variety, but like watching the same sport over and over and over again, like even March Madness, which she loves, she like takes a little bit of a break.
Right.
As where you and I.
Dude, I did not leave my couch. I was like, every time a game went in, or I was hunting. I was constantly I watched every game.
Yeah.
Except I missed the FAMU and Florida A&M and Norfolk one. I didn't get that because I was watching the game that was on CBS Sports Network, and I didn't want to go back.
Strike Rattlers.
There you go.
Tallahassee Pride. There.
Tallahassee Pride.
That's
I
right.
like it.
That's right. Love those Rattlers. Man, I root for them and everything. Like I really want, like, I don't know. I just knew so many nice people that were over there, and I mean, their uniforms are so ugly.
They are.
So,
that color scheme.
That color scheme is so ugly. But they're so, like that. And now that the band's through all their controversy and they've kind of rooted that stuff out. It's great to see them. I did go to Florida A&M Bethune-Cookman.
Ooh.
I had a friend that was playing for Bethune-Cookman, and that was one of the best football games I've ever been to in my life. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
And that was, a long time ago. And they don't like each other.
Oh, I bet not.
Yeah. Florida A&M does not like Bethune or Cookman. Not at all. And Bethune and Cookman don't like Florida A&M either.